Hi everyone, thanks for dropping by and for returning to the old world. The year is 1547. The empire is in turmoil. In the north, fell lords do battle to prove mastery over each other and gain the favour of their dark gods. The forests and mountain passes are beset by dangers. Times are hard, and the forces of order, if you can even call them that, are distracted. The perfect time for the greenskins to rise. But they didn't. Records of the time don't mention a particular great war. Gorbad Ironclaw, one of the real greats of the Orc and Goblin warlords, wouldn't rise for nearly 150 years, but were things as quiet as they seemed. Now we only hear in the fluff for Warhammer of the most powerful of the Orc warlords. The aforementioned Gorbad Ironclaw, Azag the Slaughterer, Grom the Paunch, Snarsnick. But the thing is with greenskin warlords, there's pretty much countless numbers of them, ranging in size quite literally, but commanding perhaps a small tribe that barely merits the word tribe to significant forces, hundreds, thousands strong. Now maybe there was a lull, maybe nothing beyond the usual raids and ambushes did happen, but it just seems unlikely. Somewhere there must have been a very large orc looking to start a lot of trouble. Now, from a gaming perspective, something that's quite handy is I think it seems unlikely that the orc method of warfare will actually have changed that much between the setting of Warhammer the Old World and the end times, nor will their crew technology. Your standard orc boy, standard goblin, has got some scavenged metal gear. If it's a savage orc, they're not even going to have that. We're going to be looking at clubs, bone axes, bits of obsidian, that sort of thing. What that means is there's no issue with the choice of models. There's no new aesthetic that's likely to be developed that would fundamentally undermine your collection of models, whatever choices that you've made around supplier. Orcs being a classic fantasy trope mean that there are a number of companies out there making orc and goblin models. They all tend to look quite different depending on how they've been imagined. And even the same producer over time might change their aesthetic. Just look at Games Workshop, for example. In the middle there, you've got a classic metal drummer with the big cheesy grin from the Goblin Green base time frame. And then you've got the more hunched over models of later years sat behind him or stood behind him. So there's a really good opportunity here to either build an army from scratch or to develop your existing force using pretty much whatever models you want without there being a risk that they just don't look quite right for the old world. At least that's the view I've taken on that. Orcs are all over the world. They're going to look a little bit different, I think, depending on their setting. If they're fighting a lot because they're in a densely populated area, they're going to be bigger. So a larger model you'd be able to use for that kind of thing. The sort of things they can scavenge would vary around the world as well, so the way they dress will be different. Maybe they've taken to the high seas and they're imitating pirates. Maybe they're ripping off the style of the Tomb Kings, who knows? There's all sorts of things you can do with an orc force. Orcs themselves, goblins, snotlings. They're wild, barbaric, and most crucially, they're fun. The armies have a huge range of units available to them. Trolls to snotlings, black orcs to hordes of spider riders. The only real question is, how is your war formed and what can it achieve on the battlefield? Thank you very much to you all for stopping by and listening for my thoughts on the orcs for the Old World period, and really just some of the opportunities they present to have a good old time in some fun games. I return to the Old World. Have a great day.